All right. I wanted to try something a little different for the spider chat. I just thought I'd just go for it. There's only two comics this week, but I want to get a new entry because it's two comics, and I want to hold off because I don't know if anything worthwhile is worth waiting for next week, spider wise, anyways. So the first entry is SpiderMan and Deadpool, Area 14, Part 1. Deadpool's raiding this old shield bunker. There's a bunch of crazy nonsense with monsters and whatnot going on. Again, we have Bicello doing art, and I love his stuff, but the setting is hard to tell. And I was kind of lost and muddling along through this comic, kind of rereading parts a couple times just to get a basis on it. And we don't really get the ending, which I don't want to spoil, but the ending comes together because suddenly we're in a neighborhood and they, with just a line of dialogue, place the neighborhood nearby to where all this goes down. And clearly it's been affecting the neighborhood, which ties back into the beginning, obviously, but there you go. And so we get a twist on that, and we get a twist with the characters, and it comes together in a way that this series has been building to since Kelly's departure. And I thought, this is decent. This is justifying itself as a comic, not just a team up, but 27 comics in, we need to have a little more meat on the bone than yay, just two fan favorites. So I think it's interesting. The cover is definitely overblown with all the different Marvel characters. It's just not there. Yeah, I think it's fun, but I think it's one of the weaker entries. There's also ASM 795, woo woo woo, and we get another kind of one-off with a build this time. Loki apparently has become the Sorcerer Supreme. They introduce it, but you kind of need that going in. And he wants to do something good for Spider-Man, but then kind of doesn't and lets it go by the end. And they have kind of a tit-a-tat, and they play on the fact that Spider-Man's had so many promises of something good go for his life happen through magic or convenient means, and it always ends up biting him in the butt, so he's very adamantly against this. And there's a little small moment he gets through this story that's supposed to be a nice moment. I don't know. It's interesting. It's fun to have kind of an issue that just is its own thing, but this feels like very similar to the very last issue we did. So now it feels like we're trying to rope up with a few cute story ideas maybe slotted lying around before we get to this meat. And one issue taking a break from where it had been going to just kind of have another issue is nice. But now it feels like we're in a holding pattern because the A story was very similar to the last issue, and then the B story is literally like taking place a minute after the B story in the last one, and is more or less what you would have expected given the last issue's B story. So, compared to a lot of the hot and cold people have Dan Slott, my assumption is for a lot of people, this is going to be kind of a under the radar one where this is not as exciting, not as bombastic. There's nothing wrong with this issue, but it's just, like I said, a holding pattern. But there's a few fun moments in here, and we get a few weird character moments that we wouldn't have otherwise. So it's nice to have something slower, but I almost wish we didn't have this Loki interlude thing and played more with some of the relationship stuff going on and had maybe more Peter Parker centric sort of thing, because we could really use a moment of that. It seems like Peter hasn't taken a moment to really be Peter since he got the new job set up, and a little more organic balance would help. But yeah, so that's it. That's part of the reason I just wanted to do this week, because I didn't have a ton to say and there's only 2 issues. So yeah, kudos. Catch you soon. Peace.